What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is The Flash, Season 2, Episode 22, Invincible. Yes, he thought it was good too. Um, it was a good episode. It was very good. One, it was a very good setup for the finale, I believe. And two, it's also a good way to sort of what the last scene in the last episode was. It's a good way to sort of solve that problem. I like the fact that they sort of jumped ahead just a little bit as all of these metahumans from Earth 2 are attacking. Um, it kind of sets the stage for what is a good episode. The best part about it, though, is that they're led by Laurel's doppelganger. Calls herself the Black Siren. I find it kind of interesting, though. You see some of the, I guess, differences and some of the similarities between the doppelgangers. Like, Cisco and his doppelganger have the same powers. Uh, Caitlin and her doppelganger obviously don't have the same powers, but you can see where their personalities becoming similar. Um, and then Laurel, in our Earth, she's the Black Canary. She has this thing that gives her the ability to, scream. And then her doppelganger just have powers that allow her to do that. It's very interesting to see that of all the powers that she could have gotten on Earth, this Earth 2 doppelganger, she ends up getting the one that is actually exactly what Laurel was able to do on Earth 1. So it's it's very interesting to see, and I love to see those comparisons as well. Um, which makes me wonder what is the Hunter Zolomon on Earth 1 like? I think we should go meet him and find out exactly what he's like, because if he's anything like Earth 2 Zolomon, there may be some issues. Of course, some of those issues just came from him seeing his parents killed, or his mom killed. Um, so yeah, overall, this episode is mainly about just stopping those metahumans. There are a few different storylines going on. Like, you've got Barry's feeling extremely chipper after his trip into the Speed Force. Wally feels like he can help, and Joe's like, I don't want you to, and he asks Barry to go talk to him, and then Barry does, and then Wally doesn't listen and saves his life. And Barry decides, you know what, I'm gonna let him do him. He's got this. Uh, you've also got the team sort of worried about Barry because he's so chipper. You've got Caitlin and Cisco sort of, Caitlin sees Zoom everywhere now because of what he did to her. She's a bit traumatized, understandable. So Cisco's trying to comfort her, and Barry ends up comforting her at the end too. And I just love that friend dynamic that they've got going on there. It's a very good one, and you can see where they all rely on each other. It's it's very well done, and I think the casting has something to do with that. Like, they've cast these characters very well, so I like to see that. Um, you've also got they're working on a plan to stop all of these metahumans from Earth 2 by setting up this thing that will it vibrates on Earth 2 frequency, so all of the Earth 2 metahumans and humans, including the Wells, will be affected by it and pretty much be knocked out by it. Um, in the end, it ends up working. What I don't get, though, is that for some reason, I hope we explore this more, because I think I may have missed something, but for some reason, whenever they set this thing off, Jesse's headphones stop working. So Harrison Wells decides, okay, I'm going to give you mine so that way you can be okay. And that ends up knocking him out. Which, I'm just like, he's just knocked out, right? Because whenever they show Black Siren, she's awake inside of her little prison. So is Harrison Wells still unconscious? Like, did it affect him more because he's human and not metahuman, it affected him more? I don't know. But it just seemed kind of like I'm willing to do this for you because I'm your father. It seemed like for some reason they wanted to show that even more, or if that's actually going to affect something, I don't know. But it just seemed kind of like a strange moment for me. I'm just like, I don't know if that's necessary. But anyway, they end up stopping the metahumans. I loved how Cisco and Caitlin dressed up as their doppelgangers, Reverb and Killer Frost, to try to trick Black Siren into thinking that they were still alive. And seeing them act that way, it's like I know, like, deep in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so obviously Carlos and Danielle have played both of these characters, so obviously they can play these. But to think about Cisco and Caitlin doing it is a lot of fun, and that's kind of where you have to sort of suspend your disbelief for a second and be like, okay, so obviously these actors, these two, have played these characters, so it's not hard for them to go and play them again. But thinking about Cisco and Caitlin doing it, that's funny. And it was very clever too. It worked for a little bit until we find out that apparently the doppelgangers are mirror images. So Cisco is right-handed, his doppelganger was left-handed. Unfortunate. Um, you would think that would be something that Harrison Wells would have told them before that. Like, okay, if she ever tries to toss something at you, make sure you catch it with the opposite hand because you're not right-handed over there. Um, let's see. So the way it ends, you end up having all the metahumans stopped. Zoom manages to open up a breach, which I hope they're going to explain how he's doing that in the next episode, because even the characters are like, what? How is he able to do that? Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll be explained. But he manages to open up a breach and escape to Earth 2. Um, and then we cut to the scene at the house, where everything looks just so happy that all I can think is something's about to go wrong. And sure enough, it does. At first, I think, okay, so, this is something, but it's not anything bad. Cisco has a vibe about Earth 2. He's been getting these vibes about the dead birds, and I'm thinking. At first, I thought this was the vibes trying to say, like, dead canary, to let him know that it's. But it wasn't a canary. That was the only thing that was bothering me. I'm like, what's up with the dead birds? Like, I don't get it. Is it supposed to be, like, it's Laurel because dead bird, dead canary make the reference? But then I was thinking, why would his vibes all of a sudden become so, like, poetic and metaphoric all of a sudden? But no, it ends up being Earth 2. The birds are flying into a building because it's falling apart. Um, so that's something that I'm sure is going to be talked about in the next episode and hopefully solved in the next episode. Because, yeah, the whole point of stopping Zoom, the whole point of going back to Earth 2 to stop Zoom after they found out Jay Garrick was Zoom is to save Earth 2. So if they did all of this and Earth 2 still falls apart, it's kind of like, yeah, that sucks, like, what was the point of that? What was the whole point of this? And then, of course, we have the final scene, which, unfortunately, I saw coming about 3 episodes ago, whenever they brought Barry's dad back. Zoom shows up at the house, has Barry's dad, and takes him back to his childhood home, and then kills his dad in the living room. Crap. What are my thoughts on this? I think it was a bit cliche. It was a bit too. Okay, his dad comes back. He made a reference a few episodes ago. He was talking about, I'm back for good. I think he said that in the last episode. He said, I'm gonna stay for good. And all I could think is, well, that just means you're dead now. And then, of course, the party that they were having was for Henry coming back. So, yeah, it was. It's kind of one of those things where you see it and you're just like, yeah, this is all setting up for him to die and make it more emotional. I hate you. um, and it wasn't even like one of those he might still be alive. Like the arm thrust through the body has been pretty effective, um, as far as I can tell. So yeah, it's gonna make this season finale even more emotional for Barry. Now he's gonna have to deal with the fact that Zoom killed his dad. It's gonna make it more personal. His whole happy-go-lucky thing that he's got going on will probably be gone in the next episode, replaced with vengeance. And I mean, now it just raises the stakes even more. The fact that he killed off his dad, and the fact that he could do it to anyone, it really just raises the stakes even more. So, yeah, it's setting up for a good season finale. I'm glad to have finally been able to review one like so soon after. It's much better than reviewing episodes that happened like 5, 6 weeks ago. So, um, excited to see what the season finale holds, and hopefully they've got a good one set up. So, those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. What do you think they're going to do? How do you think they're going to stop Zoom? How do you think they're going to solve the problem with Earth 2? Is it going to be another season 1 finale thing where he goes to stop whatever's happening on Earth 2 and then that's how the season ends? I hope not, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe for more Flash reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.